Hello, everybody. I'm excited to welcome each of you to this event celebrating International Women's Day, as well as Women's History Month. Today, we join the United Nations hashtag, Embrace Equity. Buenas tardes a todos, bienvenidos. Estoy muy entusiasmada porque juntos participaremos en la celebración del Día Internacional de la Mujer y el mes de la historia de la mujer. Hoy nos unimos en el mensaje de las Naciones Unidas de este día. Hashtag abraza la equidad. At Hemisphere Media Group, we strive to have a diverse, equitable, and inclusive workplace that brings incredible talent and extensive expertise to the table, reflecting the communities that we serve. We are very proud and consider ourselves very lucky to have a very diverse workforce with employees from many countries, cultures, beliefs, and backgrounds. Today, we celebrate the incredibly talented, accomplished, and knowledgeable women that are moving the company forward with their unique experiences.
Tell them to mute their phones.
Please mute your phones, please.
Today, I'm going to repeat that. Today, we celebrate the incredibly talented, accomplished, knowledgeable women moving the company forward with their unique experiences. Having so many perspectives is a true gift as we celebrate the women in our family, specifically our work family and beyond. To honor them, we take a moment to talk with two members of our familia who have used their platforms to spark the conversation about what it means to be a woman in today's world. First, let's welcome our beloved noticiero host and Emmy award-winning journalist, Katiria Soto.
Hola, Mónica. Saludos. Muchas gracias. Thank you for that welcome. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with us in this morning today, March 8th. We are celebrating all the social, the economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. Es normal que en el día de hoy recibamos mucho la palabra felicidades por el Día de la Mujer. But what we really want is to have those conversations about gender parity, about equity, that are the main goal of this celebration, and obviously of all the fights that women and advocacy that women have done. International Women's Day, it's been a celebration for over a century, and we cannot forget that it was hundreds of women, thousands of women that marched through the streets of New York asking for better conditions in their work, for shorter work hours, for better pay, for their voting rights. That's precisely why we're wearing these colors today. So definitely it's been a long journey where we have advanced a lot, but we still have a lot of work to do. This year's theme, Embrace Equity, like the past couple of years, the Hemisphere cable network have joined this in support of the campaign with the hashtag Abraza la Equidad. Así que todos los que quieran hoy compartir fotos en su espacio de trabajo de lo que estamos conversando en el día de hoy, ya saben que ese es el hashtag que vamos a utilizar. Pero bueno, a lo que vinimos. For this International Women's Day event, we wanted to find someone that embodied some of the best qualities of what it is to be a woman in today's world. Someone who is an advocate for education, but more specifically for women in STEM careers, who has maximized her life's opportunities, especially a very special platform that she's using. Ahsley Cariño, she hails from East Coast Puerto Rican town of Fajardo and moved with her family to Florida during her childhood. She graduated with a certification in psychosocial rehabilitation, specializing in working with children with cognitive diversity. She is pursuing a degree in aerospace engineering and hopes to work for NASA in the future. Ahsley, as you know, is our current Miss Universe Puerto Rico and recently participated in the Miss Universe pageant held in New Orleans, where she was among the top 5 finalists. And we're so proud of that amazing work that you did in that competition representing our country. She's currently collaborating with our Viva la Tarde team, and we hope that this is the beginning of a long partnership with our company. So thank you, Ahsley, for being here. There were applauses. We didn't hear it, but
They're there.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here, and more so to have a day that recognizes all women. But I don't think that it's just one day. I think every day is Women's Appreciation Day, because we've done so many incredible things. But like you said, we still have a long way to go.
Definitely. I would like to start by asking which or what were some of the female role models as female that you had growing up, and what did you learn from them?
I definitely have to say the main one is my mom. My mom was a police officer in Puerto Rico for about 8 years. And I remember her being someone that not only I could look up to, but someone with a very strong character, personality, someone that was super hardworking. Yeah, you have to be being a police officer. And she showed me the importance of not only having a dream, following it, but working very hard. I also had, growing up, someone that sparked my interest in STEM was a character, actually a fictional character in Star Trek. So I always talk about that. I am a very big Star Trek character. And in Star Trek, there was this woman. Star Trek started in 1966. And so during that time, she was the only African-American woman who had a lead in a show. And for me, that was amazing. So those were like the 2 main characters or women who really sparked things in me.
That's unbelievable. You had a superhero at home, your mom. I can't imagine what would that be like to see your mom, putting the firearm, the uniform, and going to the street every day.
She did look like a superhero.
Definitely. And you also had the fantasy.
And the fantasy. So I had one that really demonstrated what hard work can be, and someone that also demonstrated what women can accomplish both of them really show what women can accomplish in a field that's predominantly dominated by men.
So you would say that since then, that's when your dream started. So you knew you wanted to pursue a career in that, in science since you were little.
Yes, so I definitely knew that I remember being young, I would look up at, space, I would look up at the moon, and I would think that it was magic. It was something that just sparked so many things in me, a curiosity. I would see the universe as endless possibilities. And so from there, it was kind of what sparked my interest in studying engineering.
Having moved from Puerto Rico at such a young age, what did that cultural shift inform your ambitions and change your dreams or your way to see life?
Well, I moved to Florida when I was about 5.5 years old. So I have to admit that the change was a little bit drastic or different because I had to learn a completely new language. So it was an adaptation process, but that kind of showed me what I had, that I had what it takes to embark on different journeys, because as a young kid, you're leaving everything that you know behind. I had to leave my grandparents at the time. I had to leave my friends, part of my family. And I was here in this land that I didn't know pretty much anything about, but it demonstrated again, the resiliency that we have.
Talking about resiliency, you're talking to us about your experience, and I'm thinking you're a woman, you're Latina, you were Puerto Rican, the color of your skin. How was it? How many challenges did you have to face in that term?
There was challenges, but I have to say that I have been blessed because when I moved to an area that was predominantly Hispanic. So I didn't necessarily face that backlash because we kind of like protected each other. But I did have situations where I removed myself from that environment that I was in or that I was raised in, and that I did end up facing some backlash or some resistance because of either the color of my skin, because I was a woman, or because I was Hispanic. And it's quite unfortunate because you would think that we would leave that behind, but sadly, we're still experiencing that today.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter how many years have gone by. It definitely, as we said at the beginning, there's so many social issues that we have advanced a lot, but there's still
yes.
much to do. Your message during the Miss Universe Puerto Rico pageant was powerful. How did the opportunity to address the whole world in the Miss Universe competition change your life, to be able to speak up and to have such a platform?
Oh, it changed my life drastically. I always talk about growing up, I was very reserved. I was a very studious girl. And I remember always having these dreams that for me seemed kind of like impossible. And one of them was being in Miss Universe, because it's something that you know, every year you kind of tune in and you see all of these women who look incredible, are super intelligent. And here I was, kind of nerdy, looking at them. I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. So being able to see how I've transitioned, how I've changed, and seeing myself at a Miss Universe stage, which is something I also always wanted to do, really showed me the power that we have to make our dreams a reality. And it sounds very cliche, but I always talk about the importance of changing the perception that we have. There's a phrase that I really like, and it's that the world starts and ends entirely in your mind. And it's true. Sometimes the perception that we have can determine whether we stay stagnant, whether we don't try things, or whether we move forward. So it wasn't until I decided to switch that and say, you know what, I have this dream. I've already, I'm studying engineering, I'm doing what I love, but I also want to do something that I only have until a certain time frame, a limit. And I want to try it. It wasn't until I did that change that I was able to accomplish that.
Aside from discovering that power that you have within you, what did you learn from the experience, from those other women that you met in the event?
I learned the fact that women are so incredible, and I think sometimes we take that for granted. I was able to share the stage with 83 incredible women from all around the world that I learned so much, not only from their language, from their culture, but really all of these women are so incredibly intelligent. They are dedicated. They, work for their community. And so I learned that women are really incredible.
What else did you learn about what is womanhood, and how are we supposed to support each other through the pageant, through that experience, through the competition?
Well, I always talk about how I am the oldest of 5, and 4 of us are girls. So I have 3 sisters. And one of the things that in my family we always talk about is sisterhood. And I think that womanhood is also correlates to sisterhood. We're supposed to have each other's back, because at the end of the day, we kind of face each other's challenges. We're a mirror of each other. And that's why we still see all of the things that perhaps women from back in the day were struggling. We're kind of still struggling because, we are sisters. And I think that's the biggest message, that sisters are there for each other. We need to support each other and continue that fight to improve the lives for not just ourselves, but for everyone, each generation to come.
¿Cuál sería tu recomendación a las jóvenes que deseen seguir tu ejemplo? Que les llame la atención el mundo de las ciencias y que igual vean el certamen como una plataforma que desean utilizar.
Bueno, que crean en ella definitivamente, pero que no le tengan miedo a fallar. Porque yo entré en el certamen de belleza cuando tenía 26 años y medio, y el timeline o el deadline para poder participar en el certamen es 28 años. Y una de las razones por qué es porque tenía también ese miedo de fallar, o pensaba que no podía hacer las cosas que hoy en día estoy haciendo. Y por eso hablo mucho de la percepción. Cuando uno cambia esa percepción que uno tiene, que puede ser negativa, que nos limita a hacer esas ciertas cosas. Pues
And it's all in your mind. It's your perception about yourself.
Exactly. And sometimes it's the perception that we have about ourselves and the perception that we have about the world. That, it might be too difficult, or I can't fail. But don't be afraid to fail. No tengas miedo a fallar. Inténtalo, porque es lo peor es tener ese regret de que no intenté algo.
¿Qué es lo más que amas de los STEM careers, de las carreras en el mundo de la ciencia? What do you love about it?
Amo the challenge, que me empuja a buscar soluciones para ciertas cosas en lo que es lo científico, pero también eso se aplica en la vida. Yo siempre digo que tenemos the scientific method con hypothesis, conclusion, y eso también lo he aplicado en mi vida. No solamente en lo personal, en lo profesional. Entonces creo que para mí STEM como tal me ha ayudado en muchos aspectos, en la dedicación, en ver el mundo en una forma quizás analítica también, cuando necesito, y no tan emocional. Me ha ayudado mucho.
¿Y por qué específicamente ingeniería aeroespacial? Porque hay muchas carreras dentro de
Hay
STEM.
muchas, sí. Es que, fíjate, desde pequeña para mí el espacio era algo que a mí me fascinaba. Yo veía mucho, como mencioné, el programa Star Trek, que se trata de, básicamente, ellos están navegando el espacio. Y yo digo que es tan increíble cuando uno piensa sobre algo que es infinito, pero que sigue expandiendo y todas las posibilidades que hay en el espacio como tal, que eso siempre desde pequeña me acuerdo que me llamaba mucho la atención y por eso decidí que quería hacer aerospace.
Are there any female role models within the STEM world that you used as a
Yes,
as a role
there's
model?
so Katherine Johnson, I don't know if you have seen the movie Hidden Figures, where
No.
it's a movie about these three women who were in NASA, the first African-American women who were allowed in NASA. And to me, they just also represented all that women can accomplish. So when I look at them and all that they did during their time, which was very difficult, it was really amazing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Aquellas chicas que quieran esas carreras en el mundo STEM, ¿cuál dirías que pueden ser los mayores obstáculos?
Bueno, tristemente todavía la ingeniería o STEM son carreras que todavía están dominadas por hombres. Y muchas veces nosotros quizás, que a mí me sucedió al principio, pues yo tenía ese como que lo puedo hacer, me aceptarán. Y creo que es lanzarse. Todavía está esa misconception that women aren't as good as men in STEM, dominated fields or STEM. Y creo que sería eso, cambiar como que todavía ese pensamiento y lanzarse.
And what about, I mean, challenges in general for women? What do you say are the biggest one, and what would be the way to try to accomplish
Well, we're still facing, unfortunately, things like domestic violence. We're still facing things like wage differences for the same job between men and women. And I think education for me is always very important, especially when it comes to the first topic that I mentioned about domestic violence. When we start educating our youth about the importance of respecting women, I think that can really start and make a difference.
¿Qué quizás podrías recomendar de tu experiencia con tantas niñas que has podido compartir como parte de tu reinado? Eres la mayor de varios hermanos, así que tienes hermanos pequeños y quizás el proceso de lo que es la crianza. ¿Qué le podemos enseñar a nuestras niñas para que el futuro sea mejor para las mujeres?
Yo creo que el poder que ellas tienen. Muchas veces nosotros quizás pues decimos, o una niña nos puede decir, mira, deseo ser, no sé, doctora o ingeniera, y quizás pues uno pues le puede sin querer, ¿estás segura? Porque eso es una carrera bien difícil. ¿Estás segura que lo quieres hacer? Cosas así. Cuando nosotros empoderamos a la juventud, especialmente a las niñas, que ellas crecen sabiendo que pueden lograr lo que se propongan, cualquier meta, no importa que sea, si quieren ser astronautas, si quieren ser cirujana, todo, y creo que empieza ahí. Siempre he dicho que el cambio que nosotros queremos ver en el futuro o en las futuras generaciones empiezan con la juventud o con los niños.
Claro, está diciendo todo esto y yo estoy aquí en un flashback acordándome de cuando yo allá en mi pueblo de Utuado, that it's in the countryside and the mountains in Puerto Rico, and I used to say that I wanted to be a news anchor and everyone would laugh. It's like, how in the world are you gonna go to the capital, to San Juan, to study? Who do you know to ever be able to stand in front of a camera? You don't have any familiar in media. I mean, how are you gonna get there? And I was in 6th grade. That was a long time ago, and I can't believe it that it not only my dream became true, it's also the opportunity to work outside the island, like so many things that seem impossible.
And how did you do it? How were you able to, leave the negative comments or feedback behind?
Well, thank God I had a mom that was my biggest fan, motivadora, life coach when life coaches were not a thing. And she always said, the sky is the limit, and I'm sure you can do it. And the only thing you need is just discipline and work hard. Today we talk a lot about the dream, but not about the journey and how hard it is to get there. But I think that that's something that we need to teach our girls about how much perseverance you need to have to actually accomplish.
And I find that amazing that you had that push, because that's what I mean. A lot of times thinking that either we're protecting them or doing it out of ignorance, we say those comments like, are you sure it might be difficult? I don't know if you can do it. You might not have the contacts, the connections, but those are limiting things. And so that's why I say education and pushing girls or pushing anyone to really believe in their potential and that they can accomplish things makes a difference in their future and how they perceive the world.
Definitely. I have I'm sorry. Tenemos todavía unos minutos más nos quedan. Cuando te hago esta pregunta, ¿verdad? De qué decirle a nuestras niñas, inmediatamente también pues tengo que pensar en mi hija. Yo tengo una bebé de 9 meses, me imagino que quizás muchas de las compañeras vieron de los tantos reportajes que hicimos aquí de mi maternidad. Yo tengo que, cuando ella sea grande, algún día confesarle que yo quería que ella fuera varón antes de saber que el sexo de mi bebé. Porque sé lo difícil que es ser mujer, sé todas las limitaciones que te impone la sociedad. Y todos esos otros obstáculos que vas a tener que superar solo por haber nacido mujer. Pero en el instante en el que supe que era una chica, que we were going to have a girl, I had a mental shift immediately. And I thought, well, I hope that I'm going to be able to, as my mother did with me, try to make her dream as big as she wants, and being able to show her the way. It doesn't matter how far it seems, to let her know that she's able, that she can do it, that nothing is impossible.
Yeah, and she has a perfect role model to show her too.
Thank you.
And how have you been able to manage everything, having like a newborn and working? Because I know that can be difficult sometimes.
Sí, de verdad que a veces uno quisiera poner una cámara literalmente 24 horas para poder uno mismo darse cuenta de cómo lo logra. Y no importa cuán complicada sea la vida, la agenda de uno, cuando ya tú estás ahí ante el reto, you just do it. Tú ni siquiera lo piensas cómo lo vas a hacer.
Es como un instinto que nosotros tenemos, ¿verdad?
Así mismo. Las soluciones llegan y las ideas de cómo solucionar lo que te traiga la vida va a llegar, porque obviamente ese amor es el motor que te mueve, ese deseo que tienes de que esa criatura esté bien, de ser la mejor mamá, siempre va a ir por encima de todo. En mi caso, yo estoy sumamente agradecida de Hemisphere, de Wapa Televisión, de NotiCentro, que han tenido la flexibilidad, la comprensión en esta etapa como mamá, y también pues la bendición de tener otra gente que te ayuda, que te da la mano. Mi esposo también ha sido de gran ayuda. Como esposa me ha tocado educarlo un poco, porque today I was reading something amazing about how moms would be like exhausted of thinking of, ahead of so many things, trying to, that everything works out well in your day. And men would be like, oh, let me know if you need help. No, it's just that making me thinking about what I need or how can you help me? You're not helping me.
Exactly.
Just think by yourself. How can you help?
It's funny because I think the same, we talk about sisterhood, but it should also be like a brotherhood with the sisters. It should be, like a connection that we have, not like a separation. And that's why I also say it starts with education. So I have only one brother surrounded by 4 girls.
Oh my
God. Yes, I know, but we have to teach him about the importance of sisterhood and protecting, women, and also connecting with them in that way.
Yes, definitely. I'm sure your brother is going to be a good partner, because he grew up with so many women. ¿Cuál tú quieres que sea tu legado? Ya para terminar, nos dicen que ahora sí nos quedan solo unos minutos.
Que, hablarle el mensaje que uno puede lograr sus sueños. Como dijiste, el camino no es fácil, pero sí es posible. Y que con humildad, con conexión a la gente, pues ahí uno puede llegar lejos.
Así es, sin duda que esa humildad es importante, siempre mantener los pies sobre la tierra, no importa lo que uno logre, va a abrir puertas. Así que thank you everyone for connecting with us. Thank you, Monica, the whole team, for doing this. We hope every year we get the opportunity to to talk about all this and los sueños que tenemos como mujeres, nuestras luchas, lo que queremos lograr, esa igualdad que algún día se dará, pero sin duda es con eventos como estos, con conversaciones como estas, que esos cambios se van a dar. Y ahora tenemos un invitado muy especial con nosotros, y aquí está nuestro CEO de Hemisphere, Alan Sokol. Hola, Alan.
Hola, Katiria. First of all, thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you, Monica, for arranging it and for your great introduction. And that was an amazing conversation from the two of you. I'm so proud of both of you. Katiria, you know, I've known you for many years. You started at Wapa when you were even younger than you are today. And you've risen to become, you know, our co-anchor of our flagship newscast, #1 newscast in Puerto Rico, and become one of the preeminent journalists on the island. And I couldn't be more proud of you and happy for you.
Thank you.
You've evolved in a way that I knew you would, and had total confidence, and continue to look forward to seeing where things go for you and for us together. And Ashley, you've been an amazing representative of Miss Universe Puerto Rico. So proud of you. So proud for how you represented the island and Wapa and women. You should have won, but c'est la vie. And we look forward. We're happy, so happy that you're part of our family at Wapa and at Hemisphere, and look forward to working together with you and being an ally and partner for you for many years to come. So thank you both. And that was a wonderful and beautiful conversation. So thank you. And look at this table of amazing, accomplished, dedicated, badass women that are around here. I mean, this is awesome. This is like my dream for Hemisphere, that we have a company that's like this. Hemisphere and Wapa together have a majority female employee base, which is incredible. And I would say at Hemisphere in Miami, we're almost 70% women, which is pretty awesome.
Bravo.
For me,
Yay.
it's very meaningful and emotional. I was raised mostly by a single mom who became a widow at age 32, an immigrant woman, a Holocaust survivor. English was not her first language, and she had to go into the workforce and figure out how to support my sister and me and keep us on the right track. And she's my hero. What she did was amazing in an age where it was much harder than it is today to do that. And not that it's easy today, but you know, what she did and what she accomplished, just, you know, every time I think about it, blows me away. And that she did it for her kids, and she just was not going to say no, and was not going to allow us to fail. And so my mom, to me, is the greatest female role model that I could have, and makes me so proud that we have a room full of incredible women and a company full of incredible women supporting our growth, supporting our success, and driving our success. I just want to shout out to a few of our senior women executives at Hemisphere in Miami. The majority of our senior executives are women. And again, that's unusual. It shouldn't be, but it is. But I'm incredibly proud to have this amazing group of women support me, support our success, and drive our growth. Our top two executives in finance are both women. Raquel Perez, our CFO, Jenny Lopez Gotardi, our controller. Our top executive in legal, Aubrey Levesque, is a woman. Monica Silverstein, our chief HR officer. Emily Love, our head of distribution. Marina Dimitrius, our senior director of programming and promotions. And lo más importante, mi socio, Rosa Proenza. Train running. How many years, Rosa?
16.
16 years. And then in Puerto Rico, we have so many senior women in management. Again, our top two finance executives in Puerto Rico, Olga Bonin and Marina Torres. Our head of human resources in Puerto Rico, Marilena Crespo. Our head of news in Puerto Rico, Niere Ruiz. I think maybe the first female news director in Puerto Rico, so. Valentin, our head of production, Cristina Fernandez, our head of digital content, and Tita La Vega, our head of promotions. Want to thank all the women here, the senior executives and everybody else for their efforts, for their commitment, for their dedication. I know how hard it is when many of you have children, parents, and others to take care of in addition to your obligations here. I personally know it, having grown up in that kind of a household. So I'm so thankful and so appreciative and so grateful for all of you every single day and every single moment. And if I don't say it, it's my bad, because I should say it all the time. And I am really, really happy and thankful and proud of all the women at this company and most of the guys. And so thank you again. And I appreciate this. And I think this is a wonderful day to really reflect and acknowledge. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.